What's going on, Average Joe readers? Today, I want to talk about nonfiction. I have a previous video where I talked specifically about health, which is still in the nonfiction realm, but nonfiction is such a huge category. It's anything that's real. So there's so much within nonfiction that you could group. Probably half a library could technically be nonfiction, but I wanted to break it down into my top five health videos or health books, and this is just other top five nonfictions that I like. This is in more of the realm of productivity, being more productive, being better at maybe what you do, who you are, things like that. So on the more of the very applicable side of things, and I have about probably seven or eight I'm probably going to mention on here, but it's a top five either way. So the first one I'm going to mention, it's not technically on the top five because of, I guess, conflict of interest, you could say. And that is because this person's book is a friend of mine and technically my boss, but a friend of mine who released this book, and it's called Killing Comfort by Jared Moon. And this is a fantastic book. It's a short read. It's only like 220 pages or something. And it is all about killing comfort. And that is we are so stuck in our lives of being looking to do what's comfortable, looking to do what's nice. And kind of it gets you kind of stuck into a rut sometimes. It gets you to not go after certain goals, certain dreams, certain things because you just want to be comfortable. And this is about if you have any goals that you want to achieve, basically, this is something that's going to help you out. So, Kelly Comfort, I just want to give a quick shout out to that one and preface it because I have technically a little bit of affiliation with it, but it's not on my technical top five. Now, with the order that I'm going to do this in is going to be similar to my top five health books, in which I'm not like doing a countdown to my favorite. It's more of this is the order that I would recommend to give people, to give someone, uh, not necessarily for one specific thing or the other, but just in general. If someone's like, "Hey, I need a nonfiction. What would you recommend?" I would kind of list them in this order, depending on what they were looking at for. But number one, the first one that I'm going to say is already with a caveat, kind of a 1A 1B, and that is The Power of Habit. There's all kinds of books about habit out there. There's Atomic Habits. There's High Performance Habits. I think Atomic Habits is very good as well. High Performance Habits, not so much. Power of Habit is fantastic. It's all about building habits and how habits can really help you in life, in being productive, in everything that you do. And the reason why I love this one as well because the 1B would be the what I consider a sequel book, and that is Smarter, Faster, Better. So the first book, Power of Habit, is it's not technically a sequel, but first book, Power of Habit, is all about building your habits, and then Smarter, Faster, Better is how taking those habits and taking what you already know and making you more efficient, more smarter, faster, and better at what you are doing. So Power of Habit is fantastic, and if you really enjoy that one, that's why I would also recommend Smarter, Faster, Better. I really love Smarter, Faster, Better. Probably my favorite individual book for as far as nonfiction go. The stories that go along with it are fantastic. I consumed this one during audiobook. Actually, all of these I've done audiobook. When I do nonfiction, it is 100% audiobook because I can just speed it up and I don't need to listen as intently, like grasping nuances. So, Power of Habit, Smarter, Faster, Better is my top one that I would recommend. My next one, it would be called The Big Leap. So, essentially, The Big Leap is if you've ever wanted to achieve something, wanted to do something, but you've been too scared to try it, if you're too scared to fail, too scared to like not sure what the outcome is going to be, The Big Leap is kind of geared toward that. So, whether you want to start a new fitness program, whether you want to start a YouTube channel, a content creation, anything, small business, anything that you want. The Big Leap is geared toward that and how to achieve and how to start to make that plunge and succeed in taking the leap to start whatever you want to start. So the Big Leap is fantastic. It is also a good audiobook. Third one is going to be interesting what people think, but I think everybody should listen to it, read it, whatever. And that is The Coddling of the American Mind, especially how things are nowadays. People are super sensitive nowadays, and how being coddled now is really to the detriment of a lot of people, of a lot of things. How, somebody can take one little small snippet of a phrase that someone said and take it out of context and completely get them fired over it. And it's just like, come on, guys, let's stop. This is absolutely ridiculous. And it's all the way down to like health as well. They did an experiment. There's an experiment quoted in here, in the book, about how, the whole peanut allergies and nut allergies have been a huge thing about schools. You can't have peanut butter in kids' lunches or whatever. Well, they did an experiment with two different groups of kids, and one of them they exposed to nuts. The other one they completely eliminated all nuts for like a number of years. And when they checked back years later, the ones that actually had minor exposure, not even like eating them, minor exposure to the nuts, had no nut allergies. But the ones that did not have nut allergies before, but were completely um, taken away any sort of nut or anything, they developed nut allergies. So that's just one example of how coddling certain things can be to the detriment of people. And there's a huge excerpt in here about social media and how bad that is. And I think there is a lot to talk about with that book. On our website that I work for, we did a full book review of it, and we talked for a good bit of Coddling the American Mind, and we could have talked way longer. So that is a fantastic book. I would recommend everybody to read that, especially nowadays. The next one is Extreme Ownership. And this is a book that will really help you take ownership into what you do, whether it's good or bad. And I think a lot of times people can play the blame game or not take ownership for something, or not, even to yourself. And it can really, it's a bad leadership quality. So this is a great book when it comes to leadership in general, but anybody can benefit from this, because even if you're not a leader technically, you should still have extreme ownership in what you do and how you do things. It is written by an ex-Navy SEAL, and so it's going to have a little bit of a military feel to it, military references to that. And I think a good different kind of book with extreme ownership, if not this one, then I would say Make Your Bed is also what I've heard very good things about. I can't remember if I've read it. I don't think I have, which is why it's not on this list, but I've heard very, very good things about Make Your Bed. And it is also about leadership, taking ownership, taking things into your hands. And that was also written by a Navy admiral. So both written by military people, but they have fantastic life lessons and things to take away from it. And the last one will be The One Thing. And this one is kind of going to go hand in hand with The Big Leap. So, say you do have this project, this thing, this channel, say a YouTube channel that you want to start, and that's what you want to do. The one thing will really help you boil down to how you're going to do it, what that one thing is, to really help you focus on what you're doing. If you have an idea or something that you want to do, you might think, there's just so much out there. What should I do? How should I do this? What should I do with that? The one thing will really help you consolidate down and really focus on what you need to focus on first and in order, and help you get to where you want to go. So the one thing is great for productivity in general, because it will help you focus on one thing and then improve as you go 1% at a time, a little by little, and eliminate all distraction. It's if you have, I think for fellow content creators, some of these books, especially The One Thing and The Big Leap, would be fantastic to listen to. I like sprinkling in nonfiction. The website we work for, on our podcast, we do a once a month nonfiction book review. So every month I'm reading at least one nonfiction, and these are just some of the ones that I've amassed over the years. There's some other ones that I've read that have been fantastic as well, and I didn't want to have any crossover from the health ones, because like Art of Resilience would be a fantastic read as well. There's a lot of good lessons in there, but it's still more on the health side and such. So there's the divide. There's the top five, my top five ish nonfiction reads. I'm very interested to know what some of yours are, because these are great to have to look into, because we do once a month book reviews on our podcast. So I would be great to know some new nonfictions that we can take and review and talk about and read with my colleagues. So let me know your top nonfiction recommendations, what you have, if you've read some of these, what you think of them, and we can chat about it in the comments and see if anybody else wants to jump on some nonfiction reads. Because from what I've seen, over book two. Some people like to sprinkle one in like every couple of months or maybe once or twice a year. Some people like to try and have a goal of like, yeah, I would like to sprinkle in some nonfiction this year. So here's a list of that, and maybe we can talk some more, and this list can grow, and I can make another video of it.